I have not been a fan of court packing because I think it just generates what will happen. Whoever wins, it just keeps moving in a way that is inconsistent with what is going to be manageable.
So you're still not a fan?
Well, I'm not a fan.
Oh, all right. He's not a fan, folks. He just said it. Now, expecting Joe Biden, lunch bucket Joe, remember your Democrat friends? Don't worry, he's a moderate. Trump's tweets, they bother me. What a wuss. Grow up, you wuss bags. I don't like Trump's tweet. I'm voting for the moderate. Joe Biden's a moderate. Joe Biden can't even figure out what Joe Biden's response on court packing is. Again, if they pack the courts, forget it. The country's finished as we know it. I'm not kidding. It's finished. It'll be done. We would have to vote everybody back into the Republican side and double everything they did, and then they'll double it again when they get in, and it'll be all destroyed. So Guy was kind enough to put together the Biden versus Biden debate. So here's Joe Biden debating himself. By the way, note to YouTube and Twitter, because they are censoring communist fascist lunatics. Warning. We have to put an asterisk on the screen. Big E, maybe an asterisk about it. This is manipulated media. We're admitting it. It's YouTube. Get it. It's meant to be a joke. Sarcasm. Funny. I know you're communists, and humor directed at the regime is never. I know you want to put us in handcuffs and torture us after this, but this is manipulated media. You got it? Asterisk. Now, this was a real question, Herb. So let's start, Guy. Number one, Biden debating himself on the walkout with moderator question number one on court packing, if you would.
I'm not saying others don't, but we should debate our plans.
I think I probably have a much higher IQ than you do, I suspect.
Sir, I've got to ask you about packing the courts. And I know that you said yesterday you aren't going to answer the question until after the election. But this is the number one thing that I've been asked about from viewers in the past couple of days.
Okay, so thank you to the KNTV moderator there. You see the walkout. If you're not watching the video, by the way, it is priceless. Thank you to producer Joe as well for producing the audio component of this. But the moderator, Joe Biden walks out. Joe Biden walks out again, debating himself after all. And our KNTV moderator asked the question, Joe Biden, how do you feel about packing the courts? So here's Joe Biden's response.
I have not been a fan of court packing because I think it just generates what will happen. Whoever wins, it just keeps moving in a way that is inconsistent with what is going to be manageable.
So you're still not a fan?
Well, I'm not a fan.
Oh, all right. He's not a fan, folks. He just said it. Joe Biden, you're like, damn, this is great. Moderate lunch bucket Joe, the Scranton kid. The Scranton kid has said he is not a fan of court packing. Wow, what a moderate. What a great guy. Very level-headed. Sister soldier moment right there, right? So just to be sure, I want to check. Moderator asks again, hey, Joe, are you really sure that this isn't some boneheaded idea, to pack the courts? And here was Joe Biden's answer in the Biden versus Biden debate to the follow-up. Are you sure this isn't a dumb idea, Joe Biden?
President Roosevelt clearly had the right to send to the United States Senate and the United States Congress a proposal to pack the court. It was totally within his right to do that. He violated no law. He was legalistically absolutely correct, but it was a bonehead idea.
Well, folks, here it is. Biden's debating himself, and Joe Biden has taken a stand, folks. The Scranton kid, he has taken a stand. It's a boneheaded idea, and he is definitely not for court packing. Thank God we got a moderate in that White House. Really? What would we do without the Scranton kid? Lunch bucket Joe. So the moderator comes back, the KNTV moderator asks Joe Biden number two, hey, Joe, we're asking you this because, people deserve to know where you stand on destroying the country and court packing. Check this out.
Don't the voters deserve to know?
No, they don't. I'm not going to play his game. He'd love me to talk about, and I've already said something on court packing. He'd love that to be the discussion instead of what he's doing now.
Wait. So, who? Biden's was that Biden won? Biden, he's unsure now. So Biden's debating himself again. Now he's unsure. First he was sure that it was a boneheaded idea, and he was sure that this was really stupid and he was not going to support court packing, but now he's not sure all of a sudden. Very weird. So we follow up, we ask him again, we're like, Joe, listen, are you really sure? Can you clear this up for us on court packing? Because first you said no, now you don't want to answer the question. Where do you really stand on court packing, Joe Biden?
So you're telling us you're going to study this issue about whether to pack the court?
If elected, what I will do is I'll put together a national commission of bipartisan commission of scholars, constitutional scholars, Democrats, Republicans, liberal, conservative, and I will ask them to, over 180 days, come back to me with recommendations as to how to reform the court system because it's getting out of whack.
So who won that debate, Biden or Biden? Which Biden is right there? The Biden who says court packing is a boneheaded idea, that Biden, or other Joe Biden? Biden 2, Bizarro Biden, I don't know what you want to call him. Who won? The Biden who says it's a boneheaded idea, or the Biden who says I want to appoint a commission to study a boneheaded idea I said was a boneheaded idea? Who won that debate? The answer is neither. They're both losers. Those are real clips, by the way. Yes, they are edited in a way to use sarcasm for effect. Obviously, remember, communists at YouTube, please don't put us in prison. Joke, comedy. I know you don't making fun of the regime. Remember, I told you, Alinsky's rules work, right? What's Alinsky's rule? What is it? Number 7 or 8? Ridicule is a powerful weapon. I'm not kidding. It's a powerful weapon. That's why the communists at YouTube hate it so much. They'll have this show labeled with a big thing, manipulated media. Well, manipulated only in the sense that we cut Joe Biden's actual answers. We didn't put any words in his mouth. It's a boneheaded idea. I don't support it. I'm going to appoint a commission to study an idea I just said was boneheaded. Given everything going on right now, however, with policing, I thought it would be a good idea to show question number 2 of the Biden v. Biden debate, because he debates himself. Again, both being losers. So, of course, there's an ongoing plague on the left, this defund the police movement, which America would burn to the ground, of course, which is what leftists want and race baiters out there. So let's pose to him a question by our new debate moderator. Thank you, KNTV guy. Our new debate moderator will be Robin Roberts, I believe, of ABC. Here's Robin Roberts asking Joe Biden the question about defunding the police.
President Trump says that you want to defund the police. Do you?
Thank you, Ms. Roberts. We appreciate that. Audience, please, applause, everything. You know, this is a debate. It's very serious. So it's Joe Biden 1, non-bizarro Joe Biden. Here's his answer. Pretty straightforward about defunding the police.
No, I don't.
Oh, okay. Thanks, Joe. Very clear. Of course, Democrats in the audience, or liberals in the audience, like, boo, defund the police. Police suck. That's the liberals in the audience, of course. Robin Roberts, everybody calm down, calm down. So, you know, we ask him again, debate moderator, are you really sure you don't want to defund the police? He gives a pretty strong answer, I believe, to this. So again, non-bizarro Joe Biden, how do you really feel? And are you sure you don't want to defund the police?
I not only don't want to defund the police, I'm the one calling for $300 million more for local police, for community policing. I also think we should add social workers and psychologists to help police on 911 calls.
Pretty clear, right, folks? Non-bizarro Joe Biden. Joe Biden 1's crystal clear. He definitely does not want to defund the police. And liberals believe it. Like the Scranton kid, there he is. Scranton kid. Lunch bucket Joe, real moderate. Sister soldier moment. Liberals, you might want to look that up. The conservatives already know what that is. So then you go to bizarro Joe Biden, who's actually the same Joe Biden. And you have an interviewer on a show called, what is this, Now This? And the interviewer, he's speaking through a voice simulator. We didn't edit that at all. But asks him the question about redirecting funds away from the police, which in English, I know liberals have an issue with English. In English means defunding the police. Okay, here are the funds in one bucket. When you redirect funds to another bucket that are not police, because liberals love euphemisms, that's defunding the police. So we have a new moderator who asked Joe Biden again, Joe Biden 2, Bizarro Joe, how do you feel about defunding the police, otherwise known as redirecting funds away from the police? Do you actually support that? Check this out.
Do we agree that we can redirect some of the funding?
Yes, absolutely.
So which Joe Biden in the Biden v. Biden debate is correct? The answer is neither. They're both liars. Joe Biden will lick his finger, see where the wind is blowing, and he will say anything to anyone at any time to build some form of political momentum. He has no guts, no backbone. He is not a good guy. He is not a decent guy. Joe Biden is an awful human being who has ascribed the most awful motives to Americans just looking for free and fair elections, calling them Jim Crow. Jim Crow, can you imagine that? Can you imagine how offensive it is to Georgia Republicans who just want a free and fair election where it's easy to vote and extremely difficult to cheat? Imagine being lumped in with segregationists in the South from the Jim Crow era. Imagine that. That's what your president thinks of you. And you want us to sit back and say, oh, Lunch Bucket Joe, such a good guy. He's such a decent human being. He is? You sure about that? Not only is he a liar, he's an unrepentant liar who debates himself, and he'll debate himself again. He will change his mind on defunding the police. He will change his mind on open borders. He will change his mind on court packing, depending on what the latest poll says, because he has no spine.